Hey guys, this is Jeremy from Moralis.io. Welcome back. This is part 5 of our cloning Etherscan series. Last time we finished up by creating our search component. We had our address. And we'd hooked it up to the search component results, transaction results. And we had a error in the console, and we'll deal with that in a sec here. But first, just to make sure if you're experiencing any errors like timeouts from the watch address hook, be sure to upgrade your server version to the latest, which is currently 1.7.7 or better. There were some bugs in the API that were fixed. But as for the console here, we can see that there's this error address is required. And address is the parameter to our watch address function. And this error is happening because of how our cloud function hook is implemented, in that we pass it the empty string or the initial state. So this function gets called with an empty string as the address when it's first called. And in order to fix that, what we need to do is create some validation in the hook, check for required parameters and stuff like that. That's a little beyond the scope of our tutorial. If you guys want to tackle that, that'd be awesome. Post your results in the comments below, and we'll take a look at that. That'd be great. But for now, let's jump into things here. The next thing we want to do is implement some routing. You can see in the address bar here that Etherscan uses the address path with the address as a required parameter here. So we want to emulate that. And also, there's a bunch of tabs here: token transactions and ERC 721 transactions that'll pop up here. And we'll implement the routing in order to navigate between these tabs. We'll be doing that next time, and next time this time we'll just set this up. Right, let's go back into the code here. So we'll need to import some things. Oh, and one more thing before we get going. Just want to mention quick the docs for React Router DOM. If you're not familiar with the package, you can check out the docs here. You can see it's a pretty popular package. See, and for the code, we'll be needing to import a few things here. Paste that in. We'll be using the browser router, switch, and route. The router component is what provides the context for the child components, things like the route params and the current route and the history and all that kind of stuff. Okay, you can delete these because we won't be using these here anymore. Okay, within the router, we need a switch component. And this is what will display the component based on the current route in our navigation bar. So let's use a route component. There's a path parameter which we'll set to our URL, which is address. And with the address parameter, we'll bind that to a component. This will be our trans results. And we'll have another component here, route, which will add just a home component for the landing page. We'll add that in here really quick. New file, home.jsx, new React functional component. And just have a p tag here with welcome to the Moralis Blockchain Explorer. That's a home component, dapp.js. Now we'll bind this to the root path with an exact match. Path equals slash component equals home. And we use the exact property here just to make sure that it only matches for the for slash, not any child routes. And we put it at the end because the ordering matters. It'll match the very first address path that it finds. So therefore, we want to put more specific address routes at before less specific ones. All right, so we have a route for our trans result. We have a route for home. We'll need to put the search component in its place. For that, we'll create a header component and put it in there. Header JSX. React functional component. And I'm just going to paste something in here. Great. Let's just set some columns with some bootstrap styling. We got our header back here. And the search component, we need to import that here. And just a comment, the bootstrap has a bunch of utilities. You look in here, there's the flex utilities. These are really useful. And if you go to layout here and grid, this is how all the column stuff works, containers and rows and all that kind of stuff. Back to the code. Okay, so we got our header component. Back to app.js here, and we're going to put it inside the router, but outside the switch, so it displays all the time. Header. All right, so that'll display our search component. We can get rid of this stuff from before. We won't need any of these that state or the handler because we'll be passing the address through the route parameters. Okay, got here. All right, good. So next we'll need to modify our search component because we'll no longer be passing the parameters address through the props. Get rid of this handle search. Instead of handle search, we'll be calling a hook from React Router DOM called use history. First, we need to put this up here. Const history. We'll use history. Then we can use the history to history.push to push an address to the location, and then it'll navigate to that address. Search. All right, so we'll navigate to the path that we defined in app.js. Be the address path with the address parameter here, which we'll grab from the state. Need to update the dependencies. This now, when our watch params cloud function gets called and returns on success, it'll call history.push to navigate to our transaction results component. Great. So now we need to go over to transaction results component and fix this up because we no longer have the user address prop. We'll instead be getting this from another React hook from Router DOM. This is the use params hook. And we can deconstruct the parameters to get our address. This is the, oops, not user address, it's address. That's the name of the parameter. Then we'll rename that to user address to match the parameter name for our cloud function. Great. We have the address coming in here. So now our cloud function will get called with the address coming from the route parameters. Great. So we have that coming in. We have the updated, so we have to do the search. We have the header. We have the routes defined. Okay, let's save all this. And check out. Results here. Let's grab our address from before. Search for that. Spinning. Spinning. Great, this takes a while. And it's displaying the same results. Good, let's grab another one. Try a different address here. USD coin, let's see, what about this one? 13 transactions, that's all right. Do our scan here. And search another one. All right. B13A395. So when the watch function returns, this should update our URL address to the new address here. Good, the results showed up. B13A, B13A, and B13A here. Great. All right, good stuff. So we've modified our app to include routing. That's great. Next time, we'll start looking into pagination so that we can do the extra stuff on for the different types of transaction results. We have the generic transactions, we have the token transactions, and the ERC 721 transactions. We might add those as well here. Cool. So yeah, that's it for this video. If you have any questions or suggestions, be sure to comment below. Let us know how we're doing. If you have any suggestions for future videos, put that all down in the comments, like and subscribe, and we'll catch you guys in the next video.